voice of Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. Welcome back to me, Ahmad Faisal, at the special program of interview. Well, supported by UNESCO and in partnership with the Indonesian National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, youth and young professionals on science, engineering, technology and innovation in disaster risk reduction, or what we call U-Inspire, host the third international workshop or training on youth and young professionals in science, engineering, technology and innovation for disaster and climate resilience on 4th December to 8 December 2023 at BRIN office in Jakarta, Indonesia. And this event is also attended by some experts. Among others are Ms. Haleemath Nahula as co-founder and vice president of U-Inspire Maldives, and the second is Mr. Ibrahim Anoof, vice secretary general of U-Inspire Alliance, assistant surveyor of land and marine environmental resource group. And today, related to the event at the studio of Voice of Indonesia, we are going to interview them with the theme Lesson Learned on Small Island Development States, or SIDS, to overcome the impact of climate change and improvement to environment preservation. How are you today, Ms. Haleemath Nahula?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Nice to see you today.
Yes, same here.
Okay. And Mr. Ibrahim Anoof, how are you today?
I'm doing really great. Yes, I'm so excited to be here in Jakarta.
Welcome to the Voice of Indonesia, Jakarta. Okay. Well, first of all, we are going to interview them. And now, as the first question, we come to Mr. Ibrahim Anoof. Well, can you please explain or introduce the U-Inspire Maldives and what are your areas of focus of U-Inspire Maldives?
The U-Inspire Maldives is a youth group working in raising awareness and doing research in disaster risk reduction and climate change. And we are a group of young professionals working in the field, and we are volunteering to raise awareness in disaster risk reduction and creating resilient communities.
So it also carries such research every year.
We've started the U-Inspire Maldives 2 years ago, and we are still planning and initiating very simple activities to start up before going for research. But our members are currently writing proposal for researchers.
Okay, now let's come to Ms. Haleemath Nahula.
Yes.
So what makes Maldives vulnerable to disasters and climate change actually?
Thank you for the question. Maldives is actually a very small island nation with about 1,180 islands that is dispersed all over the geography in 20 atolls. Although most people know Maldives as a tourism destination, Maldives is actually a very low-lying country, and because of that we are very vulnerable to climate change and also other effects such as sea level rise. In the past few years we have actually seen that during rough weather we are experiencing more sea swells or inundations, more flooding due to rainfall, and also experiencing hot weather more frequently than usual. So because of these vulnerabilities, and also I'd like to highlight that the capital city of Male, which is home to almost half of the population, is extremely crowded. So because of this, there is a chance that if there is a disaster, almost more than half of the population will be affected.
Wow.
So in that case, I would say that Maldives is one of the most vulnerable countries to the effects of climate change.
So what about the role of young people in, I can say, having awareness in the building resilience for this?
Yes, I would say that there is actually a very big role that the youth can play, because for one thing, as youth of the country, we can do a lot more in creating awareness. We can carry out, we can do more innovation, more research. We can be, as they say during this entire workshop, the agents of change. So we as youth can make the government more accountable. We can ensure that the information that goes out to the public and to the youth of the community is valid, is transparent. We can create a community where the youth are empowered to become more involved with the climate action.
Well, actually, what makes the young generation really aware for this climate change? Actually, is there also such appeal or recommendation from the government so that the young generation, or young people, can also really aware of this?
Yes. The government of Maldives is actually working very closely currently with the NGOs, especially with Inspire Maldives, because the main government organization for disaster risk reduction is National Disaster Management Authority, and we have a very, very good working relationship with them at the moment. And having the support of the National Disaster Management Authority for Inspire Maldives gives us the additional push that we need to go forward and do more work in the community and to be more accepted by the youth population when it comes to disaster risk reduction and community empowerment.
Okay, now let's come to Mr. Ibrahim. Well, during your day, and you share about maybe about your research, your science for this event in Jakarta. Could you explain about the process of establishing the national chapter for youth and young professionals on science?
The start of Inspire Maldives began in China 2019 at the second Youth and Young Professionals workshop in Science, Engineering and Technology and Innovation. It was the second workshop of SMS this soon in Jakarta, and our founders came across the Inspire founders, and they had the conversation of the importance of having the youth involved in the DRR, and from there our founders went back with the lessons learned from the workshop and initiated conversation with a youth group and started this NGO. Thus, so that's how we got started, and our members are, our founder is a lecturer and we are her students, so it's a youth group from a university.
So how to make, I can such to keep people contact in this case actually, so that it seems this is really good for having such togetherness, not only for yourself but also for other people.
Yeah, to get people, we promote NGO inside our university, and we reach out to other universities and youth groups to collaborate with us in the work of raising awareness in DRR and climate change.
Now let's again come to Miss Haleemath. Challenges, we also, wherever we are, we often face challenge in many things. So what are the challenges faced by Maldives as a small island developing country in terms of building resilience and climate change adaptation?
I think one of the main challenges that Maldives faces at the moment is because one thing, and the most important thing, we are not the biggest emitter of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, but we are one of the countries that that is most vulnerable to these effects. So I'm sure that this was also discussed in the ongoing COP28 meeting in Abu Dhabi, but this is a very big and a very a prominent issue that we must address at the moment, that the biggest emitters or the biggest contributors to climate change may not understand, but a small country from South Asia, of a population of about 500,000 people, are urging you to please reconsider your actions, because we are one of the biggest countries that are going to face and are seeing the effects of climate change at the moment.
Wow, fantastic! Yeah, all the people for more than 500,000 really aware of this.
Yes, most definitely, I would say, because it is impossible to not be aware of climate change when you are actually living the reality back at home. It is. I believe it's currently Maldives is currently facing the rainy season.
Yes.
So when you have to walk on flooded streets, and when you have to face the destruction or the damage that is caused by flooding, these are realities that we have to face every single day. So I would say it's impossible to not be aware. It's impossible to not be concerned about such issues.
So, Mr. Ibrahim, I believe you are still young. So, how do you influence or promote about, I can say, self-awareness, yeah, for young people in your country, so that they are really aware for this, I can say, risk reduction of climate change?
In today's age, social media is everything, and for Inspire Maldives, we engage the youth through our social media, and we try to create content that is related to disaster risk resilience, and try to inform the youth about the need for a resilient community when we are going into the future.
So it is really important, yeah, for using social media.
Yes, because our phone is always in our hands, and it is really easy to deliver messages right now. So we try to create meaningful content which delivers informative and useful information that can be used for their future.
Oh, okay, great. So, Miss Haleemath, I'm really interested about what you said before about, I can say, the involvement of NGO, yeah,
Yes.
non-governmental organization in tackling about the climate change.
Yes.
So the question is, why is the involvement of civil society organizations and youth important for disaster risk reduction and climate adaptation?
I believe that there is a lot that CSOs or NGOs and the youth groups can do when it comes to climate change, because they have the platform. For an example, for You Inspire Maldives, we've been given the platform by You Inspire Alliance to come together, collaborate, bring together different kind of experts, the kind of technological or capacities that, for an example, You Inspire Maldives doesn't have, You Inspire Alliance provides for us. So in that case, having a very strong connection with the alliance makes our capacities grow, and on the other hand can also help CSOs and NGOs become more empowered to once again urge the government, to urge other youth groups to come together and within their scope of work also include climate dialogues. For an example, we have we are currently working together to form an MOU with Women and Democracy, which is a local NGO working towards women empowerment. But we are also talking with them to include climate dialogue within their scope of works. So by talking with other NGOs, other local NGOs, which is also one of our main focus areas, we are making sure that even though they are not directly involved with the climate dialogue, they can also talk about this within their respective areas. So what we are trying to do is basically grow the community, spread the message, and tell everyone that you can also be agents of change.
Right, interesting. So, how does your government support the NGO so that this really care for the sustainable awareness, for the future?
I think the biggest thing the government is doing for the NGOs right now, and for You Inspire Maldives as well, is to give us a platform where we can be legally registered.
Okay.
So we are a legally registered NGO with the Ministry of Youth. That gives us also the legal backing to have our voices heard, especially in policy making. So we, although we have most of our volunteers and most of our members started off from the university, as Anoof mentioned, we are currently working in different areas of environmental management and disaster risk reduction. We have expertise ranging from fisheries management to conservation to surveying, as Anoof is. Anoof is the expert in that area. Social sciences, disaster risk reduction, water and sanitation. These are all areas of importance when we are talking about climate change. So giving us the platform and the means to which we can be legally registered with the government gives us the base where we can also influence policymakers. So that is, I think, one very strong point, and also one means through which the government is helping us.
Including giving fund, for the establishment of NGO.
Unfortunately, the You Inspire Maldives currently at the moment is working at a zero fund, but we are looking at other avenues to seek funding.
Okay. Well, you know that in Indonesia we have also such local wisdom. Sometimes when lots of birds flying around the sea or in the middle of forest, it seems that there is something different. There is something like danger. That's why local people, when they see such flying birds, lots of birds flying together, it must be something different. This must be such a danger, and they move from one place into another place. There's such local wisdom to know about, I can say, like disasters. So what about local wisdom in Maldives? Is there also such that maybe local wisdom like something like warning, something like this?
I think it's very similar in Maldives too. The elders will say things similar to that, like the birds are moving in a different way, and before storms comes. So we are also an island nation, and Indonesia is also very much based in islands. So I think we both have the same very similar ways of early warnings, detecting early warnings, like the movements of birds.
I'd like to add something to that.
Okay.
Our forefathers, and even right now, Maldives is a fisherman country. We have a lot of fishermen, and there is a belief. There is actually a traditional way of telling when the rain is going to come, when the storms are going to come. So in Divehi we call it nakai belo.
What's that?
Might be a bit different. So we actually base our predictions on the constellations.
Constellation.
See, so a fisherman can actually tell with the wind, with the constellation, with how the with the tides, when a storm is going to hit. So that kind of traditional knowledge is still very much believed and much more relied upon than the meteorological services by some people who are very traditional. So that is, I guess, one thing that very interesting about the Maldivian community.
Okay. Well, during your time joining the You Inspire Alliance, have you ever tried to change such information for experts from other countries, so that how to tackle about the climate change, how to increase about awareness? Have you ever tried?
We have already developed a book for disaster risk reduction, and it's a disaster preparedness guide. So we have researched on other guides from other countries. We saw some great disaster preparedness material from BNPB yesterday. So along with the book, I think we will try to do some simulations similar to BNPB because that was really interesting and interactive. So I think along with disaster preparedness guide, we are going to include some activities with that, learn from other members of other participants from this workshop, and also the professionals who shared their experiences in the field. Yeah.
Well, because of limited time, we don't have such many questions. Do you have only? I mean, have you tried to, or maybe communicate or build such communication with, I can say, some expert in case of this climate change or science, knowledge about how to build awareness or how to, I can say, related to the science, or how to overcome climate change with some expert from maybe from BRIN?
Our greatest helper is Dr. Ahmed from BRIN and Mr. Adito from UNESCO. So they are very helpful to establish the UN-Inspire chapter in Maldives, and also assisting us to come here and share our experience of the Maldives. So I would like to thank Dr. Ahmad and Mr. Adito for this opportunity to come to Jakarta and meet all these young professionals from all over Asia Pacific region.
So Miss Haleemath, what can you share about your experience, maybe your research, for some other expert and even for Indonesian people?
This program has been very eye-opening. It has been extremely wonderful to actually learn from other countries who are doing similar work as us, but in their own country have established and achieved so much more. So we both from UN-Inspire Maldives are going back home more inspired than we came here. So we hopefully are going to, since 2024 is going to start, include a lot more programs in our work plan and try and incorporate whatever experiences that we've had here within our the next work that we are going to do.
Okay.
And just to add on, I would also like to thank BRIN, UNESCO, the UN-Inspire Alliance, and all the organizers and sponsors of this program for having us, for inviting us, and for giving us such a wonderful opportunity. And I'd also like to thank my team back home, who like every single one of them who are working very hard behind the scenes. So I'd like to thank my team and Anoof for working so hard and for bringing us here. Thank you.
So the last question.
Yes.
We would like to hear about maybe such your appeal or recommendation for, especially for our viewers and listeners around the world. Starting from Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah.
I would like to say that to be prepared for disasters, it's a responsibility of each and every person. So seek out the correct information and try to be prepared and learn from other people who had similar experiences.
Yes, Ali.
I would like to say that since Anoof mentioned being educated and aware about this disaster risk reduction, I would like to say that it's very important to be self-empowered. I think it's very important that you feel like this is your responsibility as much as it is the other person's. So my biggest appeal to whoever is listening right now is to volunteer in such causes.
Yes.
Go out there, seek opportunities. There is a lot. So if you are listening to us from Indonesia, kindly please sign up to the UN-Inspire Alliance Indonesia, and there is a lot of opportunities out there. There is a lot that you can do. So volunteering is very cool. So please find in yourself to go out there and volunteer for our cause.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim and also Ms. Haleemath, for your time and attention
Thank
to
you.
come to our studio, Voice of Indonesia in Jakarta.
Yes.
We hope that your research, your project you can do your best for all your job, your project, and keep doing your best
Thank you.
for the future.
Thank you.
Okay, well, listener, that's our special interview with Ms. Haleemath Nahula as co-founder and vice president of You Inspire Maldives, and Mr. Ibrahim Anoof as vice secretary general of You Inspire Alliance, assistant surveyor of land and marine environmental resource group. I am Faisal. Thank you very much and have a nice day. See you next time.